Hello world, it is Monday, March 26, 2012. Hope everybody's having a great start to their week so far. I'm sorry that I haven't made a new one in almost 3 weeks now. I'm terribly sorry about that. It's just what ended up happening was that I was on my spring break, and I know that should have been an excuse to normally make videos, but I honestly wasn't really in the mood. I sort of wanted to take a break from videos during the week, and plus, I got Mass Effect 3 and Game of Thrones, so that's hopefully should be a perfectly legit reason. If not, I apologize. And then the week after that, things were just really busy and I didn't have time to vlog. But now, here I have finally, almost after 3 weeks, I have some time to vlog and make videos. So today is going to be my review of the Hunger Games movie, which I saw on Friday. But yeah, so let's get started. So as we all know, The Hunger Games is one of my favorite books of all time. I mentioned it in a previous list that I did of movies that I'm most excited to see in 2012. And so yeah, so The Hunger Games is based off the best-selling novel by Suzanne Collins, and it's probably one of my favorite books of all time, as I've said before. The Hunger Games is set in a post-apocalyptic North America in the city-state of Pan Am, and its 12 outlying districts. So 74 years ago, the districts hatched a failed rebellion against the capital. So as punishment, the capital orders the districts that every year the districts have to send one boy and one girl between the ages of 12 and 18 to a battle royale survival of the fittest to the death called the Hunger Games. And the sole winner of the Hunger Games wins a whole bunch of riches and supplies and rations for their district, as well as, eternal fame and eternal glory for the winner. So, in the 74th annual Hunger Games, 16-year-old Katniss Everdeen from District 12 valiantly takes the place of her 12-year-old sister in representing District 12 in the Hunger Games. So she goes to the capital along with Peeta Mellark, the boy tribute of the Hunger Games, for District 12, and they go to the capital to prepare for the fight for their lives, doing interviews, training, doing like fashion, like essentially like working on their appearance and stuff like that. And they both struggle to stay alive in the process and in the games. So here's what's really good about the Hunger Games. Overall, it's the cast. The cast does an absolutely fantastic job. I mean, special kudos definitely have to be given out to Jennifer Lawrence as Katniss and Josh Hutcherson as Peeta Mellark, who they absolutely shine in this movie. And these are guys. I mean, I've seen Jennifer Lawrence and Josh Hutcherson before. Jennifer Lawrence played Mystique in X-Men First Class, and Josh Hutcherson was in The Kids Are All Right, and they're both really good actors. But here it comes out even further how fantastic they are, especially Jennifer Lawrence, who absolutely shines as Katniss, is literally perfect for the part of Katniss. What's really awesome too is that these young actors really hold up their own against these really like the veteran actors they bring into this movie who are also fantastic also, like Woody Harrelson as Hate Mitch, who is also absolutely perfect in this part, who is perfect for Hate Mitch. Elizabeth Banks as Effie, and who as Effie Trinket, who does a really fantastic job as well. Bringing out the kind of like happy-go-lucky, like sort of mild insanity that her character has, bringing that out really well. Stanley Tucci, surprisingly, does a fantastic job as Caesar Flickman, who is who is that right kind of like I don't know, unnecessary enthusiasm about the Hunger Games, and he's absolutely fantastic about that. And Donald Sutherland as well as President Snow, having that right kind of like you know, old grandfatherly caring mixed in with vicious, malicious, murderous intent, bringing that together really well. And also, who also does a really good job, and this was really surprising, was Lenny Kravitz as Cena. Originally, when I heard Lenny Kravitz was cast as Cena, I was originally very kind of skeptical about it. I was like, Lenny Kravitz as Cena? And it just didn't really make sense to me at first. It didn't really click, and I was kind of worried how he was going to do in the film. But he actually does really well as Cena. He fits the part perfectly. I mean, Cena is like the perfect mix. Does a really fantastic job as Cena because Cena isn't as outlandish as everybody else in the Capitol is, and he's very chill, very down to earth, and very mellow. And Lenny Kravitz did that absolutely perfect. So what was also really good about the movie also was that it was really intense. And the movie did a really great job in capturing that sort of same intensity and the suspense of the source material. I mean, there were moments in the movie where I was at the edge of my seat. I was with my fiancée watching the movie, and I was like gripping her hand like really tight. I was like, because it was just so intense. And even though I read the book and knew what was going to happen ahead of time, they managed to really capture those moments and really use those moments very well and very effectively, which is absolutely fantastic. One of the things I also really liked about the film was the whole dichotomy between the districts, especially District 12 and the capital. I love how they were able to capture that, especially the wackiness of the capital and how people dress and how people how people dye their dogs pink. And like the crazy hairstyles and the crazy makeup and all the crazy things that they do in the capital. And it's absolutely fantastic. And it was just absolutely fantastic how they managed to capture that dichotomy really, really well. And that's one of the things that really kind of appealed to me in the movie. Another thing that was really great also was the whole sportscaster feel behind it. Especially when the game started happening, there would be times when they were watching the games, you would see Caesar Flickman and this other guy talking about the games and talking about, offering commentary and talking about like the whole events and stuff like that. It'd be like you're watching like a sports cast, like you're turning on the TV. Oh, and there's the Hunger Games on, sort of like which is kind of ironic and which is kind of very funny because Suzanne Collins, when her biggest inspiration was the Hunger Games, was kind of seeing the images of the war in Iraq and like reality TV sort of like blending together, and it kind of really brings that out as well with this whole sportscaster feel. Now, there was one thing that really bothered me about this movie before I get into any more of it, was that the shaky camera. Now, I know shaky cameras are slowly starting to become the norm, especially in big action movies. From like the Bourne Supremacy, Bourne Ultimatum used them, Quantum of Solace used the shaky camera, but it wasn't really as bad as it was here. I mean, they do it to the action sequences so much that it's almost incomprehensible. Like, you don't know what's going on in these action sequences. Like, you have no fucking idea what is going on during this moment. It's like you're watching and like, what the hell is going on? And it's just like, it's incomprehensible. And like, I can partially understand why Gary Ross decided to work with that, why the directors decided to do with that, because they probably didn't want really clear, detailed images of children murdering one another. And that would have been kind of pushing more toward our rating, so they kind of do the shaky camera images, so you don't really get the clear image of the brutality, you just get the sense of it, which you kind of do, but it's still just to the point that's incomprehensible, that you really can't understand what's going on, and it's really kind of frustrating, and there could have been another way to do that, to kind of hide that brutality, kind of water down the brutality a little bit, without so much of the shaky camera. It was just really frustrating for that. It was just really like the only thing that kind of really upset me about this movie. But the bottom line is that if you read and love the books, you're going to see a movie no matter what I say, no matter what other critics say, what other reviewers say. If you love the book and if you read the book, you're going to go see this movie no matter what I say. But for those of you who haven't read the books, let me tell you that this is a fantastic movie. With a great cast, a great story. Yeah, a lot of people say, oh, it's nothing new, they've done this thousands of times before. Yeah, but the characters in the story, how they develop, how they grow, and all these other factors make this a really fantastic movie that is honestly worth your time and worth your money. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for today. My next video is going to be a list of 5, and I was hoping to do this a few weeks ago, but I guess I can do it now. It's going to be my list of 5 of the most most terrifying Doctor Who monsters, because I just finished through the 6th season of Doctor Who on Netflix, so I felt like now's an appropriate time to do a list of the Doctor Who creatures that terrify me to my core. So yeah, that's pretty much it for today, guys. I hope you have a great week, and I hope to see you again later on. All right, peace.